Welcome, my friend, to CrossYoga Power with me, Ria. Did you know that the Bible says that God is rejoicing over you singing? Try to picture God singing. For some, it might be far-stretched. For some, it's like, oh, yay! No matter what, you are so warm welcome on the mat with me. And it will be a power yoga class today. So we'll just breathe for a minute and then start moving. So find a way to sit. Close your eyes. And whatever is on your mind right now, exhale that. Maybe you need a couple of exhales to let go of stress or anything that might fill you in a not positive way. And you can place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly and follow your breath. Notice how your hands are moving as you inhale and exhale. And if you're done with that, you can do some seated movements for your spine, whatever works for you. And as you move here, try to picture this. You have a pencil or a pen or something in your hand, and you're asked to draw a picture of God. You're going to draw a picture of God. What would that picture look like? And try just to go with the first thing that pops into your mind. Never mind that you can't draw, that's not the focus. Just what is your picture, your image of God? That image is quite important for our faith. Quite important. If God was an old grandpap with long beard sitting on a cloud, you might have faith, or your prayer might seem like one thing. If God is a cloud like the destiny or something like that, your prayer or wishes might be very different. Or if God is a parent, it might be another way. So just be aware and make your way into downward facing dog. Keep moving your feet. Your legs, bending one leg at a time. Moving your hip. And maybe bending your knees quite a bit and just bounce a little bit here. Almost like you're jumping, but you're not. You're more bouncing. It's a bit of a fun feeling, but it's nice. So we're going to do our first bit of warm up. You're going to throw your right leg up towards the sky and take this right leg in between your hands. Just look forward, lower down, step this foot back, and move from down dog to plank. And back to down dog. We're going to do that on the other side as well. So left leg up, bend the knee, draw it underneath, trying to lower it down somewhat quietly, looking forward, lowering down your hip. Step it back, down dog, plank, and down dog. Again, right leg up and between your hands. Looking to the front, lowering down your hip. Step it back, down dog, plank, down dog. Left leg, reach up, step it through. Again, look to the front. I'm coming up on my fingertips. Step back, down dog, plank, and down dog. Adding right leg up, stepping into the front. Lower your hip down, reach your arms over your head if you can find balance. Then extend the front leg, using your thighs and everything, lowering down again, leaning forward, drawing your hands out to the side. Hands placed down, down dog. Step back, plank again. And down dog. So I'm moving a little bit quicker than sometimes, but I want to keep our heart rate up a little bit. So your left leg, lift it up, step it through. Gaze on the floor, crescent lunge, high lunge. Extend the front leg. Feel that momentum of balance. Bending the front leg again and leaning forward. Engage your core. Framing the foot. Step back, down dog. Plank. And down dog. Adding more. Right leg up. Step it to the front. High lunge, taking our time, no rush. Extending the front leg. Lowering down. Leaning forward, take your hands out to the side. And maybe push this back foot just a little bit closer. And let go, take your airplane. And maybe draw your hands to the front if you can keep your balance in Warrior 3. Draw your hands out to the side, step it back, down dog. Plank, down dog. You've got this. Left leg and to the front. High lunge, lifting through the front foot, arms reaching up. Extend the front leg, bending it again, leaning forward. Balance pose, take the back foot just a little bit closer so you can kind of soar off the ground for an airplane. Take your hand to the front if you can keep your balance for Warrior 3. Arms out to the side again. Framing the foot, step back, down dog. Plank. And down dog. Adding the last bit. Right leg up and stepping it through. Looking to the front, reach up, high lunge. Extend the front leg, closing your hip and lowering down. Leaning forward, arms out to the side, engage your shoulders. Take the back foot a little bit closer, finding your airplane. Staying here, aligning most of your body with the floor, to the front if you want to. And then out to the side again, trying to keep your balance, lifting left leg up, hucking it in, and then open up your leg to the side. Still holding the knee. Closing the foot or the leg, stepping it back, finding down dog. Plank. Down dog. Left leg, reach it up to the front. high lunge. Hope you're getting warm now. Extend the front leg, bending it again, making sure knee and ankle are stacked, leaning forward. If you feel safe trying to lift up from a position that's far away with the feet there, go ahead. Warrior 3. Well, airplane. See if you can keep your balance. Hug in your right leg. Gaze on the floor. Take the right knee and right hand there. Open up your hip. Stand tall. Closing the hip again. Step right leg back. Down dog. Plank. And down dog. Bending the knees, jump or walk to the front, finding your yoga squat, either sitting really low or not as low. Take a breath here. And then engage your legs as you lift up ever so slowly into mountain pose when you're up. And then walk your feet into mountain pose. And take a breath and just listen to what Zephaniah here is saying in chapter 3, verse 17. The Lord your God is in your midst, a warrior bringing victory. He will create calm with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. A warrior bringing victory, creating calm with his love, rejoice over you with singing. To be honest, I think sometimes my picture of God tend to be that God is very serious. Always this serious face. But God is just as much a smiling God, a God of parties and joy. So why don't we think about that a little bit more? Think about God singing. That must sound like, wow, can't even imagine. Take your hands overhead, just looking up. You can grasp your hands and just throw the palms up. Maybe move from side to side, stretching your side body. And fold forward. Stepping your right leg back, warrior 2. So finding our victory pose, maybe. Getting down there, really aligning this hip with the long end of the mat. Take your arms out. And then we're going to play here, getting to our core. So keep your arms in this distance, even though we are moving our core, our spine. So leaning back, take the back hand behind the leg and do a peaceful warrior, a version of it at least. Then lean to the front. The front hand goes to the outer edge of the thigh, leaning forward for more like a side ankle or side stretch. But arms still, aligned. Then moving back, stretching the front leg. Again, kind of a peaceful warrior, leaning back. And then triangle pose. Let your legs stay where they are, leaning forward. Again, not hanging on your leg, but letting your core decide how far you want to go. Warrior 2 again. And let's do that a few times. So staying with the front leg bended, leaning back, core involved. Back to center. Leaning forward. Peaceful warrior where you extend the front leg. Triangle pose. Warrior two again. And maybe going a little bit lower, who knows? Leaning back, make sure the front leg stays bended this time. Staying bended as you lean forward. Then you extend the front leg as you lean back. Triangle pose. Gaze on the floor, hands down, letting the back heel off, step back, plank. Knees or toes lower down, shoulders before or a little bit in front of your fingers. Inhale to cobra or up dog, lower down. From low plank to high plank on knees or toes, going into downward facing dog. Let's just do that 2 more times to get those arms going. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Lower down. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears. Come on, lift with your core, not with a kind of soft belly or back, but with a straight spine. Come 1 more time. Plank. Exhale, lower down. Lifting up, inhale. Exhale, lower down. Straight spine. Engage your core, lift up slowly if you can. Down dog. Beautiful. Now take your right leg and lift it up so that you can do your warrior two in this direction. You stay in your direction on the mat. So going down and repeating what we did on the other side. Now it's pretty important that this hip doesn't move forward like this, so it becomes like halfway aligned with the long end and the short end of the mat. Try to see if you can get those hip bones aligned with the long end without falling in on your knee. All right, because that's helpful when we move like this, so we can move our core and our spine in a more aligned manner, so to say. Take your arms out. Keep that front leg bended, leaning back. Both feet firmly on the ground, coming to the front without leaning at any time on our legs. Peaceful warrior, extend the front leg. Triangle pose. Okay, warrior two again. Now you know what to do. Core in, not like sog your navel into max, but engagement. So a little bit of hugging in the abs. Leaning back, peaceful warrior. Front leg bended. Back to warrior two. Side stretch. Peaceful warrior, extend the front leg. Triangle. Warrior two. Victory pose. Why don't we call it that? That would be so much better, I think. Coming forward. Victory two pose. Extend the front leg, lean back. Hope you feel this in your side right now. Triangle. Bend the front leg. Lift the back heel off. Step back, downward facing dog. And maybe a side out. This time, bend your knees and maybe walk your feet a little bit closer to your hands. And then do a hovering the tabletop. So in with your core. And hover the knees over the mat, shoulders away from the ears, away from the mat. Keep breathing. And then lean back into down dog. Jump or walk to the top end of the mat, folding forward. And maybe hugging in your knees or your calves. Gonna play a little bit with our side crow, crane, whatever you want to call it. But preparing for this, we want to do a chair with a twist. So gather toes, knees, whatever works for you, and sit down in your chair pose. Adjusting your clothes. No, you don't have to. Oh, all right. Left elbow, right outer thigh. Keeping your hip twisting. Noticing how it feels in your back. Hugging, staying low, and this twist. We're going to try to repeat that when we go into our side crow. One more breath. Let it go and lean forward, stretching the legs. Chair pose, again, with a twist, but let's just find chair first. Get that pelvis in and tucked under. Prayer pose, noticing your shoulders are down, so when you're twisting, they tend to move up there. Let them stay down. Hugging in the knees, the inner thighs. And try to breathe. For me, this is one of the hardest yoga poses there is. One more breath. Especially after a workout. All right, shake the legs out. So, crane pose, crow pose, whatever you want to call it. Traditional, you're looking to the front. But side crane, you want to have your hip and your knee, not the kneecap, but the knee joint on elbow and elbow, okay? I see a lot of people trying something else, not really working. So just notice this and this. This is where you carry your body. Hands are on the floor. Okay. So come down with your feet somewhat together, bending your knees quite a lot. I take my hands down here as I was going into downward facing dog or a plank. All right. Making sure, maybe I'm going to do it this direction, that carrying my weight on my knee and on my hip, then leaning forward, seeing if I can let go of my toes, finding balance here. And keep trying. And maybe you can extend your legs out. And just play with it. It's pretty hard. And it's just for fun. It's just for having some fun on the mat. So we can try the other side. For me, it works best on one side, the one that we've been in. So let me try here. Bending the knees, elbow to the thigh, elbow to the knee. Looking to the front. See if I can lift my feet off. Just shake the wrists and try a little bit more. Smile, laugh, and don't get upset if it doesn't really work for you. It's also sometimes a matter of pants being too slippery, or you're sweating, or whatever. Or you're just good old tired. Oh, if you're done playing, come down on your belly, stack your hands, forehead on the hands. If you're not down here, come down here now and get ready for our Backbend Bow Pose. So bending the knees, take your hands down, get a hold of the ankle if you can, or if not, just let the hands reach that way back, lifting the knees off, shoulders squeezed quite firmly together. Slowly let go and find child's pose as a way to stretch the spine. And maybe you take your hands to the front, palms facing up. And then listen to God singing, rejoicing over you. You are that important. Come up on tabletop and then down on your back. We're gonna do a little bit of core work and then the final stretches. So take your hands behind the head and lift up the head and suck your navel in this time. Pelvic floor, lower back, lumbar back, kind of glued to the floor, and lift up. And then you're gonna do some stretching of the leg out, pushing it back so that you have your knees aligned over the hip. And again, I'm trying to keep my pelvis completely still and steady. Switching legs, trying to keep moving and breathing. One more time on each leg. Take the elbows out. And then lower down. Hands out to the side. Walk your feet a little bit away from the hip and windshield your legs. Let's do reversed pigeon. It's just nice to do once in a while. So you can take your right leg up, the angle on the other knee, and pull in left leg if you have your right knee out. With your right elbow, if you're lucky that you can reach the knee, I'm pushing my knee out and away as I'm drawing in the other leg. This will keep the stretch going on the thigh. Now picture your life, waking up in the morning, and then picturing God rejoicing, saying, "Good morning. Let me sing your morning song." You might not be that awake, but just, go with the picture that you wake up to a happy God, happy to see you, cheering you on as you brush your teeth, take your breakfast, drink your coffee, send the kids out of the door, whatever you do. And letting go. Switching sides. And other times, that might be during your day, work, or at home if you get a little bit angry at your kids or something like that. Do you then have this image in your head that God is sitting, putting his hand to his head saying, "Oh," or like being ashamed of you or something like that? I think I do. But how about if God is saying, "Okay, my child, that was not your best moment." And if I say, "Oh, God, I'm sorry," God says, "Okay, we try again." No shame in his eyes, no guilt. Let go of the legs. And as we rest right now, extend your hands over the head this time. Of course, if it doesn't feel comfortable, do something else. But almost like a baby, they sometimes sleep like this, at least mine did. And legs out to the side. Close your eyes, soften your face. And as you rest here, in your mind, go to a party with God. Picture God laughing. Maybe picturing Jesus on the dance floor, moving to the beats of the music, either it's classical or whatever music you like. Just rejoicing, being happy, content. And this party you can be a part of. So maybe your heart is saying, God, let me join your party. Let me know what it feels like to see you smile, to hear you sing with rejoicing tones over me. Here I am. If you don't want to leave the party that you're joining right now, then just stay on the mat. Or just picture yourself taking that joy, that party with you out in your life. God is never far away. His smile is always there. So if you're ready to come into a seat, move hands and ankles, wrists. Maybe hug in your knees just for a while. And then find a seat. May God's singing and happiness and joyfulness be in your heart. Thank you so much for looking and joining. And thank you for sharing, subscribing, all of these wonderful things, so that more people can have a party with God.